Okay guys, this is the next three major arcana cards, their spiritual meaning, and I'm doing it as I pick a card. This time it's going to be the Star, the Devil, and Wheel of Fortune. So pick one of these that you feel drawn to. If you don't feel drawn to any of them, check out my other two videos. I've done 6 cards already. And see which major arcana card you feel really drawn to. There could be a spiritual lesson for you in there that you currently are going through. So let's get started. The Star speaks of coming out of darkness. So it can mean that the seeker lost some of their innocence. Perhaps they were very naive and then they learned something that shook up their world, and they're no longer naive about the world, or they're no longer naive about their situation. This leads to a new beginning where they will have more courage. So for many of you, if you chose this card, you could have turned a corner where you healed worthiness issues, which again strengthened your immune system. And also there's more harmony, even though it can be turbulent. There is a lot of turbulence because the Star comes after Tower. But there's actually more harmony because now the seeker knows. They know what they have to do, and it's healing. They want to have harmony. So all of the unknowns in your life was probably part of the Star initiation. And when you're in this lesson, for many, they'll find that they are the most beautiful. They radiate something from the inside that is magical. It's out of this world beautiful. They have this innate, very old soul wisdom within them. The energy in your eye could be even changing. You're connecting deeper to your soul. So many could feel very vulnerable. So you could feel like you're in this duality. On one hand, you see the kindness and the goodness and the potential in others. But then you also see where there is a lot of nasty behavior, discord, conflict, and unhealthy competition. In this initiation, the seeker will learn to develop their own inner compass and to become discerning. It's easy to try and hide away, also in personal relationships. Some could be canceling a lot of their arrangements and trying to hide away. But the Star asks the seeker to become more of who they truly are, regardless of what other people say. So if you are an artist and people don't understand what you're creating, in the Star initiation, they basically say to create what's coming from the inside. How many artists do you know that were truly great and appreciated in their own time? It's about being completely honest with yourself. And if you follow this bright star within you, you will arrive at your destination. And you will know exactly where you belong. And this is where you will shine the brightest. The next card is the Devil, and it's a little bit scary with the Devil because you're dealing with darker energy, more destructive energy. The Devil is a 6 in numerology. It's card number 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is it's a number. When it's negative, it wants to control. When it's positive, it wants to care for, nurture, love, create harmony, protect. But when it's a negative number 6, it always wants to gain control. And because it wants control, it loses power straight away. And the Devil is a major arcana card, which means it's the number 6 in the major arcana cards can't control much. And the major arcana cards take on a life of their own. It speaks of universal energy. So while you're in this energy, you could feel like your life is out of control. And when it's your spiritual meaning, it means that you need to make yourself as impervious as you can to manipulative and evil behavior. It can speak of rebuilding after a very destructive phase. And because of what has happened, you could also be dealing with a lot of anger, and for some even very repressed emotions. You could have been dealing with, or still are dealing with, a very abusive person, relationship, or situation. But when you're in this initiation, you will get the tools needed to free yourself. You will If you pray, especially if you pray to Creator of all, to be given the truth about your situation and how to deal with it the best way, you will get the answer. This is about turning to the light away from darkness, without being in oblivion, because darkness is there. We need to be able to look at it without being so afraid that we can't deal with it appropriately. So in the Devil card, it's really about integrating. Anger was never meant to control and ruin our lives. So mastery of emotions is incredibly important in the Devil card. To choose high vibrational thoughts and to understand oneself. The only way to truly integrate the shadow is to understand human psychology. It's about learning about narcissistic power dynamics, how to recognize dark triad personality disorders, how to understand and deal with obsessive emotions and obsessive thoughts, to become more stronger and more impervious. Perhaps you've been dealing with very negative people and you were forced to learn to say no. Maybe you were forced to distance yourself and set up boundaries. It could have taught you so much about human psychology that you learn how to be more discerning in the company you keep. Sometimes it is about being very fearful. You could have to do fear work. Why are you afraid? What's the worst thing that can happen? And go down to the bottom of what is the worst thing and see the truth of it. And ask the Creator to give you the truth, so that you can see that what you think is the worst thing has no power over you. It's just a fear of it. Sometimes in the Devil, the person is so ambitious that they lose themselves a little bit. It's something they want so much that they've lost a lot of their inner child. So it's like, don't kill your inner child over your ambition, because your inner child has no ambition, not really. Your inner child wants to be joyful. Why are you escaping yourself? But the reward you're getting in the Devil, once you do the shadow work, is that you won't fall into all the traps. So usually people are initiated into the Devil because there's something coming in the future where they have to be aware of these energies, and then they will be able to avoid the traps. And also, if you can challenge your own ambition, you might find that there's something that you care a lot about that you're not obsessively ambitious about. It's more heart-centered. And heart-centered that give you joy and flow, but it's not going to be overly competitive, and a lot of the competition, the unhealthy competition, that it could just make you tired and exhausted as well. It will fade away, and you'll be able to go on your journey that is more joyful for you. So spiritual discipline and practice is vital when you're in the Devil initiation. Wheel of Fortune. This is a very high vibrational card. It speaks of luck, so you could be getting very lucky when you get this card. Situation most likely will turn around in your life, and the synchronicity of it could be that you end up in some kind of advantage position. So it's like all the pieces come together, and you will be very aware of all the good forces that is operating in the world. And also to hold space for good, to be a force of good in the world. Sometimes this card shows up when the seeker is changing, or they need to change their thinking. They need to open up their hearts to new learning. So it's a bit of a humbling also in the Wheel of Fortune, because the seeker they could have been very lucky. They could have had a lot of things going their way, but they also need to be humble that they have a lot to learn as well. And if they open up their heart to new learning, they will be very rewarded for that, because this card can speak of the seeker actually working with the laws on the sixth plane, and that's a real gift to be able to do that, to learn the different spiritual art forms. When you're in the Wheel of Fortune, you know if you're on the right path, because you gain some kind of understanding that you're able to vibrate. It's more like the vibration that you have. That brings a lot of joy and happiness and understanding to other people. So you could be deepening your knowledge, or even shifting your knowledge to be more aligned with the way Creator of all want it to be understood. Many will also be guided to spend more time outside and to work with the earth's cycles, grow a garden, and to create a sacred space for yourself. This card also often means that you will meet someone that will have a profound effect on you. They will be your teacher. They will help you understand something. That will give you a very important realization that will benefit your life. And it's also important when you get this card that you know that you have spiritual protection on your journey and that you're not alone. Many will begin working with a high-level spirit guide and get their guardian angel. They will connect deeper to Creator Wall, and they will begin refining themselves. They will begin refining something. It could be language, music, poetry, dancing. It could be a sport that they play. It could be writing. It's something that they do that lifts the spirit up from the mundane into the divine, and lift up the vibration in the room that they're in as well. This can also speak of working with the knowledge from the Akashic records. That's for some as well. Some could be very drawn to do both past and future life and life between life as well, to see what is the thread in their lives. What are they weaving in their life? What is it that they've been working on maybe for the last few lifetimes that they're working on in the future lifetimes as well? And how can they integrate their learning in a way that is very high vibrational and joyful without so much struggle? The ultimate lesson in Wheel of Fortune is that good always wins over evil. And so on a personal level, it speaks of the seeker being able to overcome something in their life. And it could be that they're overcoming their own struggles, and that they are releasing a lot and living more in the moment, more joyful, not overthinking things so much, more living the joy of every day, and understanding that there is life everywhere. Everything has this beautiful life force energy, and connecting to it. You're never alone. You can connect to it wherever you are. It's everywhere. This could be a turning point in the seeker's life once they start living from the perspective of everything is alive, everything is living, everything is vibrating of this beautiful life force that is pure joy. And this will give an enormous feeling of joy in the seeker's life. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the spiritual lesson and initiations in the Major Arcana cards. I'm going to go through all of them. Maybe I'll go through all the cards. But this will be part of a book that's coming out. I'm going through it and writing it at the moment. I'm making these videos as I'm writing it. But I'm hoping at the end of the month, this book will be ready to go. It will have information in it that's not anywhere else, because I do want to incorporate what is the deeper spiritual meaning. Why are people going through what they're going through? Why can it be profound? And is it that sometimes it's the negative cards that actually have the most positive spiritual meanings actually? It's actually when we've gone through something that's been very negative and dark that we can have the biggest shifts in our lives. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, tomorrow I'm going to do the next 3 cards. So keep following this series, and because even if you're not going through any of these lessons currently, you can still learn a lot about the meanings of the cards as well. Bye!